Hello, and welcome to this channel. It's me. Last week I was in the Balkans, in Belgrade, and then in Vienna. And one of my interlocutors there, a very high-ranking official, told me that the biggest problem in Europe right now is the lack of energy. That's obvious. I mean, it's winter. It's cold. You need energy. And then I said, well, what about the Belt and Road Initiative? You know, China is building these pipelines. They're bringing gas from Turkmenistan, from Uzbekistan to Europe. And he looked at me as if I was a Martian from another planet. He said, "Are you crazy? You think that China is going to help us?" He says China's taking advantage of our problems. They're buying up all the cheap energy they can, and they don't care about Europe at all. And I was kind of taken aback by his outburst. But then I thought about it and I realized that he's right. So let's take a look at what's happening with the Belt and Road Initiative. As you know, the second phase of the Belt and Road Initiative was announced in 2021. It's called the Belt and Road Global Initiative, and it covers three areas: transportation, energy, and digital. In the area of transportation, we have the Trans-European Transport Project, which connects China to Europe via 5 corridors. The westernmost corridor is the one we're talking about today. It connects China to the Central Asian republics, to Afghanistan, to Iran, to the Caucasus, and to Eastern Europe. So far, so good. As for energy, remember that China is building a gas pipeline from Turkmenistan to Urumqi, the capital of the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. That's over 7,500 kilometers. That's almost 5,000 miles. And then there's another pipeline that goes from Uzbekistan to China. This one is called the Western Route. So China is getting lots of cheap gas from Central Asia. What about the European part of the equation? Well, China has invested in a liquefied natural gas terminal in Greece. It's called the Revithousa LNG terminal. It's located near Athens. And in 2021, China's state-owned energy company, the China National Petroleum Corporation, signed a deal to buy a 35% stake in the terminal from the Greek side. Now, according to analysts, that deal valued the terminal at around 1.6 billion euros. Beijing also agreed to build a $1.8 billion gas pipeline that would carry fuel from the terminal to the Serbian border. That pipeline would pass through Bulgaria, Romania, Hungary, and Serbia. Serbia, by the way, is a candidate for European Union membership. So this is really a win-win for China, right? I mean, they re-getting all this cheap energy, and they re-helping out a European country or a candidate for EU membership, right? Well, apparently not. As I said before, Chinese companies are building a gas pipeline from the Greek-Serbian border to Belgrade. The deal was signed in 2021. The pipeline should be completed by 2024. But the Greek Prime Minister said that it will be ready by 2023. That S next year. And when that happens, China will be able to supply 3 billion cubic meters of natural gas annually to Serbia. It sounds like a great deal for Serbia, right? Well, according to the same Kyriakos Mitsotakis, the Greek Prime Minister, I will only get 15% of the gas that is transported via the Revithousa terminal. The rest, he says, will be bought by Greece and its European partners. So it looks like the Europeans are now realizing that they've been had. I mean, they let China get too close for comfort. And now they're saying, wait a minute. We need this gas ourselves. We don't want to send it to China. Now, China needs energy badly. It's the second largest consumer of energy in the world, right after the United States. And with the zero-COVID policies, the industrial output in China has fallen dramatically. So Beijing needs energy, but it cannot get it from the Europeans, because they do unwant to sell it to them. And this is just another example of how the West is simply not reliable. I mean, they talk about human rights and democracy and all that crap. But when push comes to shove, they're ready to stab you in the back.